Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High Yah. This is truly the day that Yah has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. I do hope that you are well and that you are still trusting only in Yah. It is the end of the work week for some. It is Friday evening and the beginning of the evening of the seventh day Shabbat Shalom to you. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. It's been a long week, a taxing week, an emotional week. But yeah, it's good in all things, and we ought to give him praise for all things. And I am grateful to the Most High for bringing us through this week. Yesterday, when I got the live news notice on Facebook of a child being found unresponsive, and I tuned in, and I was like, why is this even being broadcast? I thought I had an issue with that, but and the reporter was saying, oh, they just came and they got a call from the police and a child was found unresponsive. And I'm like, okay. But to later read the police report on Facebook that child, 8-year-old boy, had died. The ambulance went to the home and tried to resuscitate him, took him to the hospital, and he died in the hospital by what they believe would have been a suicide. That he would have hung. They found him, an older sibling found him hanging from the security bar with the belt around his neck. Listen, that bothered me yesterday evening because the report came early in the day and I didn't hear anything other than I was talking to my neighbor, and she was saying, where's the women? I was like, but then my daughter, while we were out there talking, she came and said, Mommy, the child died. Oh boy, listen, that is so sad. 8-year-old, and no pointing finger here from me, because I prayed for the parents, because I believe that any parent, even if it's an adult, the child is an adult, who knows that your child would have committed suicide is not an easy thing. And for it to be a child, I think that makes it even more difficult, because you're wondering, why? What happened? What did you miss? Anyway, I prayed for the parents, I'm praying for the parent. So I came to, some things you wish you didn't have to talk about, but I'm going to talk about certain things, and I'm going to talk about it, and to use it as a point to encourage strongly, and this is what I came to do, parents, to strongly encourage you to protect the seed. We are losing too many children as it is, but in particular too many male children. And so I want to give an encouragement to parents. I know it is not easy. As I'm driving on the street and I see the children, I know it's not easy. When you look at what they can be exposed to on the internet, it's a lot of distraction. At 8 years old, what was I doing at 8? I found out that my dad at 7, that disrupted my life. But at 8, we were outside playing. They're outside playing, climbing trees and running around and cooking outside we used to put together, we used to call it slam bam on Friday evenings. Everybody, or Saturday evenings, put together their little 25 cents and we get enough. At that time only need like $3 and you buy a box of those saltine crackers and some cheese and some sausages, and we had slam bam, and we did that like every week. And then we'll put together and we'll buy a little bag of sugar, and we would cook tamarind sauce outside. Or whoever went fishing that day, we'll cook outside and you fry a little hunk fish. My childhood was fun. For the most part, it was fun. But to see now that so many children don't have childhoods, they don't get to be outside like that. So I can imagine that it's difficult, but I want to encourage parents to teach, and I've been saying it here. You have an obligation and a duty and a responsibility to teach the word of Yah to your children. As I was thinking about this last night, I said, who cares if they don't have prayer in the school and Bible in the school? Everybody making a fuss that, they take it out of the school, they take the Bible out of the school, they take God out of the school. So what? Is he out of your house? Nobody could take the Most High out of your house. See, that's where it's important. For me, I didn't care for nobody to teach my children or read to my children or pray with my children. That's my responsibility. I send my children to school for you to teach them reading, writing, and arithmetic and physics and everything else. And I always made it clear, you leave the rest to me. You understand? And my children went to a Christian school, but I didn't expect them to tell my children about the Most High. When my children went to school and they had their Bible classes, they came home and questioned me about the teacher's interpretation. Because, we believe something different. We practice something different. You understand me? See, but you got to have that much influence in your children's life and be talking to them about the Bible for them to be able to go out and hear something and come back home and say, Mommy, they say that's not real. But if you ain't saying nothing to your children, whatever they held there, they can accept. You understand what I'm saying? And so I want to strongly encourage parents. Take the time. Spend time with your children and reading the word to your children. I don't know what happened to the little boy. I said to my sisters and our sister Chuck, maybe he was playing. Maybe he saw something. He had to have been exposed to something. If he did it himself, he would have seen something and maybe tried it. And, it didn't turn out the way he anticipated. You understand? And see, what these children are now being exposed to, parents, you have to be very, 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 very careful what your children are seeing and what they're being exposed to on the internet. And you can imagine the sibling who found the child, the state. So I want to encourage parents. See, Deuteronomy 6:7 says, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. You teach your children the instructions of the Most High. You understand me? Parents have an obligation to train their children in the way of Yah. You have to give your children something to be able to fight with. We're at war. The devil ain't playing. You understand? And if you are not giving your children to the word, you then lost. You can lose. You can lose your children to drugs, alcohol, sex, probably some kind of fraternity, something, gangs. You understand? This little child is 8. I think last year or earlier the year it was like a teenager. Last year it was like a 14-year-old. This is not the first time we're hearing of children committing suicide. Why though? You understand? I read one of the comments on Facebook saying that parents have to that listen and pay attention to the children. Children are facing a lot of stuff. Whatever it is that you are going through in your home, your children are feeling that. They seen it. When I was going through with my children, I used to make a point to talk with my children about everything. Everything was a teachable moment. Because I wanted to see how they were interpreting the situation or different situation, what their thought was. I always wanted to know how you're doing, what are you thinking, what are you feeling. I spoke to my children about everything. When we went to counseling, the counselor was upset that I was talking to my children about everything, and when she was going through in her marriage, she didn't tell her children. I don't tell her that's you. I don't get in people's business. You do you in your house, I do me in my house. You understand me? And so I told my children, because it was about my children and more my children. Everything was a teachable moment. And what I was saying, I didn't want my children thinking that was normal. You understand? I didn't want them thinking that it was okay for us to, you grew up and this is how you deal with each other. You understand? And what you think children ain't see, and they see. They say all closed eyes, they ain't sleep. My daughter was 6 years old and she told me, I don't know why you and daddy together, because y'all don't love each other. 6 years old. That time you saying you staying there for the children and the children and see. You understand? So I want to encourage you parents. Take the time out. Talk to your children, whatever you're going through. Don't think your children ain't seeing. They know. But don't allow them to interpret the situation for themselves. Bring them together and tell them, look, mommy and daddy dealing with this right now, but we love you all. And we can get through this. And things can be okay. We don't want you to worry. You have to talk to them. Let them be involved. They're part of the family. Call their family meetings. You understand me? Help them to understand. Well, right now, we dealing with some financial situation, so we can't do this right now, but as soon as we get it together, we can go on a little family outing or something like that. You understand? I used to tell my children, when we go, mommy, no, I can't do it. Right now, I don't have the money, but as soon as I get the money, we'll do it. And as soon as I got the money, I took them for some soft serve ice cream or something. You understand me? You can't just leave them there and think children ain't see and they ain't know. Children ain't stupid. They see and they know. The only thing is that what they see and their little minds, they interpret in something different. And you don't want them going by based on what they think, what they're looking at, what, based on their understanding of the situation, because they still young. You see what I'm saying? And so you want to be able to explain to them, this is really what it is, and this is how it's going. That was my concern. I didn't want my children coming up there with their own answers in their head, because I always felt like the devil can put something in their head, and I didn't want that. I didn't want that. So my goal was to get there to the head before the devil or anybody else. You understand me? I don't want no one telling my children nothing, and let me be the first. Let me tell them. And that's how I felt about even the Bible. Let me pray and do over my children. Don't leave it for nobody. You understand me? And so this concern that people have about this in the school and stuff, no. It's the Most High in your house, because that's where you're supposed to be. Do you read the Bible to your children in your house? Don't leave it to nobody else to do that for you. You do it. See? This book, Family Walk. You see this? I purchased this book in the year 2000 when I was a teacher. We went out on we went to Orlando for teachers conference, and at the conference, they had a lot of books that you could give up, they were giving away free. And I took this. Now, I didn't have any children, but I started using this in my classroom with devotions with my students. This book, let me show you some of the stuff in this. Very good. It had little short stories on different topics. The first one was kindness, habits, God, justice, wisdom, orderliness, creation, leadership, the beatitude, meekness, discernment, and you have dependability, God's attributes, hospitality, stewardship, parables, encouragement, self-control, beauty, work, Satan, leadership, stress. And these, what it was it gave little stories and children, at children's level, and then they would have discussions on these topics. You understand me? And then it was give you the scripture reference for it. See this little cartoon? I follow the golden rule today, but only about 3 carats worth, right? So it gave a little story. Then it said thinking about kindness, key words on kindness, looking ahead, and it'd be like it had like 3 or 4 stories on the same topic, so one a day. I'm telling you this because I want to encourage you to get something like this for your children. This is a very good book that you can use for family devotions. When I got my children, this is what I use. In the morning when we got to school, we sit in the car and I would have these little readings with them before they went into class, because we got to school early. You understand? And if we didn't do it then, we did it at home. But before my children got out of the classroom, out of the car, I prayed with them and talked with them. You understand? And so I want to encourage you parents, do it with your children. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. You understand me? Spiritual wickedness in high places. We are at war. You can't let down your guard. You got to be on the defense. You got to be on the wall. You got to be vigilant. Your adversary, the devil, going about seeking whom he may destroy. You understand? Take the time and talk with your children. Pray with them. Give your children hope. Don't allow them to go into despair and depression because of what they see. You understand me? Or what they think they see. Encourage your children daily. I used to tell my children, I said, listen, when they go to school, your job is to learn your lesson. I said, you go to class, you don't worry about nothing what's happening at home. That mommy can take care of. You don't worry about it. You focus on your work. Everything is going to be okay. Mommy's going to be fine. Mommy's going to be fine. That time, look, I feel like my whole world's falling apart. You understand me? Sometimes I had a clue, but I couldn't let my children go to school worrying and fretful. You understand? I let them know your job, this your job. You in school, you just focus on your schoolwork. Don't worry about mommy. Don't worry about anything. Mommy is gonna be fine. We can get through this. Things can be better. The Father taking care of us. I always let them know the Father taking care of us. We can be good. That's why we pray. The Father is taking care of us. You understand? And you have to give your children that encouragement. You have to let them know. And so I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you parents today. You understand? It's too much. It's too much. And if you're trying to do this on your own, you're going to lose. You're trying to do this in your own strength without the Most High, without His Spirit guiding you and giving you wisdom, you're going to lose. You're going to lose big because you're going to lose your children. You have to do it Yahweh. You have to do it His way. If you don't do it His way, if you don't give them that foundation now, if you don't plant that seed in their hearts now, they have nothing to come back to, nothing to turn back to. You understand? So, I want to encourage you with that. And I hope you have a wonderful, restful Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom. Love you.